So, because I just linked a bunch of my Spreaker podcasts to my LinkedIn account, I wanted to do a quick cover of work related stuff and what you can see in a birth chart, because that is something I love doing. Some sort of I would love to do life coaching that I could incorporate astrology into this. I actually just talked to my friend Seth about this, and I was really excited because he's one of the only other astrologers that I've actually seen incorporate a lot of astrology into helping people learn about themselves and furthering themselves in their lives. So what you would look at on a work basis, I guess you would look into your second house, because that's how you would see how you handle finances and your attitudes towards money. But I don't want to link the second house into this post, or podcast, I guess you could say. Sorry, I'm so used to being a writer. I wanted to look into the 6th house and the 10th house in the zodiac chart. Your 6th house outlines your everyday life, and they say that it correlates a lot to your 10th house, because your 10th house is your career and public image, due to the fact that the 6th house is basically where you have think of it it's what you have to aid in your career. It's what personality style you have in everyday life, in your approach to working and stuff like that, in combination with your career. So let's look at each zodiac sign and I can go over it. The first, we'll go sign by sign, house by house in order. And actually this one I do have a lot of information on. Aries. Aries in the 6th house. Aries in the 6th house is a badass. I get a little bit pumped up about this because I have Aries in my 6th. We are headstrong, and we want to run into our everyday activities, very, very independent. We don't do well necessarily following orders. Any job that I ever had, I needed to be left alone in a cubicle basically in order to get shit done. If I have somebody constantly standing there telling me what to do, I get really frustrated. And it's not it can come off that way, I'm kind of an asshole, but really it's just I need you to give me instructions and let me go. That's Aries in the 6th house. Your everyday life is basically functioning around independence. You do well in fiery situations where you can just rage forth and conquer your day. Aries in the 6th is known for not leaving work at home. We're big workaholic placement. We don't stop ever. Aries is very, very fiery. It's a fire sign. So you're just ready to rage forth. If you had Aries in your 10th house, which is your career and public image, I could see people with this placement being great in careers personal trainers, or even crazy stuff stunt doubles. Anything that involves quick action, definitely doctors and nurses, or an ER doctor, most definitely. A lot of these Aries 6th housers or Aries 10th house placements are known for having ADD and stuff, and it's true because we do need to move very, very quickly, or we get burnout. After that, you would go to Taurus. Taurus in the 6th would be somebody that would crave sensuality and beauty in their everyday surroundings. To correlate that to the 10th house, you would definitely see people with Taurus in the 10th as your designers or your stylists, or even hairstylists maybe, or artists potentially. Very earthy artists though. Interior designers maybe would be very, very good for a Taurus 10th house. Then we go on to Gemini. Gemini in the 6th. Gemini is all about acquiring knowledge. I actually know somebody with this placement, and they are it's my fiance, I'll just be honest. He is a garage door installer, but he has Libra in the 10th, so that's where the beauty correlates to that. But Gemini in the 6th, they're big knowledge seekers. You're very, very good at learning anything that you can see or you can research. You can teach yourself how to do it. Gemini in the 10th would be awesome in a position where you're either a teacher or you're working with children. Somebody in a communication position, even business communications. Just very big on sharing knowledge and gaining knowledge, and research definitely big. Cancer. Cancer in the 6th would be very maternal. You could see these women probably definitely, especially if they have it in their 10th, being fantastic nurses, especially midwives, or people that work in a maternal position where they're nurturing others, and social workers would be really good with Cancer in the 6th or 10th. Leo. Leo in the 6th is very, very prideful. They would take on their everyday activities with pride and confidence and like want to shine in their ability to like learn. Leo is very big in the legal positions because they are very prideful and like justice is big to them. Leo in the 10th, though, however, which actually that's the placement that I have, yay, is known for being very theatrical. Like they make incredible like writers, actors and actresses, some sort of position where you are like in the spotlight. Fame is a big one. Like a lot of celebrities have Leo in the 10th, and they're basically like destined for some sort of fame. I mean, they're known for all kinds of crazy stuff, but like you would find a lot of like your directors and like writers and actors and actresses with Leo in the 10th. Virgo in the 6th house would do fantastic with like logic, like a lot of logic. You could see like computer programmers in this position, or even like people in the medical field, big time. With Virgo in the 10th house, like definitely nurses, big time nurses, or even like psychologists potentially. Or, I mean, you could also go to the other end where they're using, like, logic and stuff like that towards, just, like, some sort of position where they're using a lot of, like, logical shit. Like, engineers even, maybe, or computer programmers. There we have Libra in the 6th. Libra would acquire, like, you would want a everyday, in the 6th house, sorry. My brain just went a little fuzzy. You would want a position that allowed you to be around, like, beauty, and you would be big on, like, fairness and justice. Maybe a little bit lazy, but not, like, too lazy or anything like that. With Libra in the 10th house, you would see somebody that was big on design, like, big time. They would put, like, their beauty and, like, artisticness, like, into whatever they're doing. Libra's a little bit trickier for me because you could also see people in positions of justice, like police officers and stuff like that. Libras are the scales. They're like ruling for justice. What's next? Scorpio. Ooh. Scorpio in the 6th house is very, very in-depth in their like daily activities. They're very aware of their surroundings. They know what's going on. Everything they do with like very deep thought and like a lot of conviction. Scorpio in the 10th house. Oh, geez, I don't even know. They would make, like, great sex therapists. A therapist in general, definitely. Something psychological. Scorpio is very, very deep. So, like, with a 10th house position, like psychology or maybe even criminology, definitely. Sagittarius in the 6th house would be your world traveler. They would spend their days, like, bouncing all over the place and acquiring knowledge, potentially, like, big time. Yeah, they would make, like, great, like, college professors or people that do, like, business on, like, a long-term or, like, long-distance basis. Like, they could be, like, your business people who would be traveling, like, around the world, dealing with, like, foreign cultures big time, like, even, like, interpreters or people that, like, are very, very skilled in, like, interpretation on regards to, like, foreign cultures. Capricorn. Actually, Sagittarius also in the 10th, I should say, would make incredible, like, professional gamblers as well. Because Jupiter is, like, the planet of luck, and they are known for taking risks. So you could see somebody with Sagittarius in the 10th also being, like, somebody that would maybe, like, trade stocks in stock market. Capricorn in the 6th, you would take your responsibilities very, very seriously. Very seriously. Like, with devout responsible. Like, this would be the person that, like, if they forgot to feed the dog, like, one day, like, they would be so hard on themselves, and it would never happen again. Like, they would never, if they had to, like, put up, like, sticky notes in their house, they probably would, just to remind themselves, because they are so hard on themselves. The same with, like, Capricorn in the 10th house. You would find somebody, maybe even, like, a judge would potentially be, like, good with Capricorn in the 10th. Somebody that was just very, like, devoutly responsible. Like, definitely, like, positions that involved, like, law enforcement could definitely do very well with Capricorn in the 10th. You could also see, I mean, a lot of different positions. Just, like, a lot of business-related stuff because they are very, very down-to-earth and, like, focused very much so on money and stuff like that. So, like, businessmen, big time. Aquarius in the 6th is an inventor. They are an inventor in their everyday lives. My little guy has this placement. you would invent, like, you could be like a mad scientist for sure, depending on like your Mercury sign. Like, you could invent like ways and like regimes to like make things like quicker for you, and like probably would be very frustrated in your everyday life as well, because you would see like all of these easier ways to do things, and like you would be revolutionary, like very ahead of like your time. With Aquarius in the 10th, you would see somebody who was very humanitarian in nature. Probably somebody that worked for like a nonprofit like company, or did like humanitarian work, like somebody that opened like a homeless shelter or something like that. And Pisces in the 6th house, poor guys. You would be dreamy and imaginative in your everyday life. Probably like float through life pretty much like on a cloud. You probably would forget a lot of things. But any like realm that you're dealing with like creativity or anything like that, you would do fantastic in. Like with the 10th house. Something that involved like using your imagination, like painters, illustrators, a lot of things that would allow you to color like outside the lines, like not somebody that would like be able to be like shoved into a box at all. Like, in order to be your happiest, you would do best in a situation where you're like just all able to like let go and like be creative and like flow freely. Probably not like best for a position that involved like strict rules and guidelines. Definitely not. Like, you might not have like the best job like getting to work on time. So yeah, I think let's see. What are we looking at with times? Oh yeah, I think I'm doing good. So yeah, that I just like spit out all that information. But look into your birth chart. Look at your 6th and your 10th houses if you're interested in like looking into what you would do best in like career-wise. All those different placements will basically tell you. You would probably look at it and be like, holy crap, that does make sense. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. Your 6th and your 10th can give you a lot of clues on regards to what like is the best career for you, or what career positions like you would do best in, be like the happiest, I guess you could say. So yeah, good luck.